Be above doing that. That's 10 people in a 2-bedroom, y'all. I did not feel comfortable.
I'm a beast laid with dogs. I'm an animal. Human flesh in my jaws. Won't call it cannibal. Movement on mechanical. Services commendable.
Welcome back to another video. I'm Anise Trinae. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, thank you so much for returning. You already know you're appreciated. So let's get straight into the story time because we like that now, right? This story time is back from when I was with Triple OG, okay? And Triple OG is the one I was with when I turned 18, okay? And then I went to jail. So if you have not seen that story time, I'm gonna link it right here, okay? I used to take Triple OG mom to go get her package, right? We gonna give her the name Pretty, okay? Because she was very beautiful. Of course, I met Pretty through Triple OG, her son, right? And let me tell you a little bit about the living situation because y'all know we live with Miss Pretty. We lived with her and it was a 2-bedroom apartment, right? So his mom, she had 1 bedroom and then we had a bedroom. And actually Triple OG was the youngest of 3 kids, but the reason why he had a bedroom is because he got a check, y'all, and his check went towards the rent, so whoever paid towards the rent get the room, right? So now in the living room there were 2 other people and their kids living, right? So y'all, in the story time where I said that I went to jail, right? And remember I said he had a brother that had just got out of jail. His baby mama was in the living room with her 3 kids, okay? And then also his older sister and her 2 kids was in the living room, right? So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 people in a 2-bedroom, y'all. We was in there thugging. When I tell you I ain't never lived like that, we was in there thugging. But, you know, they were very kind people. They were welcoming to me, you know, as much as they could be under the circumstances. And, you know, it was what it was. That's what it was, right? So, anywho, now I'm living there for some months, and this was before we moved out and got our own place, because I think we probably stayed there, I don't know, 5 or 6 months until we moved out and got our own place, right? Now I didn't know that she had an issue. I had no idea initially that she had an issue, okay? He had mentioned that when he was born, he was addicted to a substance. So I knew that she had had an issue in the past. And then they had told me like some family history and stuff and said that, you know, there were a lot of, he had a lot of uncles and aunties, right? Because I think his grandmother had like 19 or 17 kids, right? So a lot of them, because of the time they grew up in, they suffered from these kind of issues, right? So now, but I didn't know. She got up and went to work every day. And it was like, I had no idea, okay? Until one time, I'm trying to go in the bathroom. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I'm trying to go in the bathroom, right? And I'm trying to like get dressed or something, I don't know, for work. Because I did have a job. I think I was working at Sears at this time, right? So I'm trying to get dressed and she's taking heck long in the bathroom. And when I mean heck long, I mean over an hour. And she just in there and he makes a remark and he says, damn, she probably in there tripping. And when he says she probably in there tripping, I didn't think nothing of it. I was just like, okay, she in there tripping. And then when he went in there, he went and banged on the door. He was like, hey, we got to use the bathroom. I'm like, come on. She like, I'm coming out. He like, no, you been saying that. Like, you need to come out now. And then so finally she opened the door and she like, man, why you messing with me? Like, I was coming out. I told you I was coming out. And he like, no, you don't even know. You know how long you been in there? And she like, I only been in there a few minutes. He like, no, you been in there almost 2 hours. Like, other people got to use the bathroom. You know how many people it is in here, right? When I come out or whatever, right, he like, man, she was in there just picking at her hair. And I'm like, picking at what hair? And he like, man, sometimes when she be getting high, she be picking at the hair, like on her scalp, like out of her head. She picking at the hair, like snatching it out, right? And so I'm like, well, what? I'm thinking when he said hi, I'm thinking he talking about tree. So I'm like, what kind of tree did she have that made her want to pluck herself like a chicken, right? So anyway, I don't think nothing of it. I'm just like, okay, like, you know, whatever. That ain't really my business what she was doing. As long as she out that bathroom, we good now, right? So I go to work and all of that, and fast forward a couple months later. Now I was only working a seasonal job at Sears, right? So now the season's over. It's the new year, okay? So I am at home a lot with her. Triple OG, he had a little business out in the street, so he would go outside and handle his business, and I was at home. And everybody else, like the kids were like going to school, and you know, everybody else had little jobs they was going to. I believe I believe the sister-in-law and the sister, I believe they were in like a nursing school or something like that. They was doing some kind of schooling or whatever. Like they would be gone all day, and it would just be she and I there, and then Triple OG would pop in and out periodically, right? So now we watching the stories and all that, and now we have a lot of time to talk and get to know each other, and we're getting closer and closer and closer. And then so one day she like, niece, I gotta go in here and I gotta do something, right? And she like, I didn't really want to tell you what I gotta do, right? And I'm like, well, what? In my mind, I'm like, why would she be hiding it from me? Because I ain't nobody to hide it from. Like, I live with you, right? And like, why wouldn't you want to tell me? Like, what is it that she could be like embarrassed of or whatever? Or what is she trying to hide, right? And so she said, she was like, yeah, I don't know if my kids know it, but I then went back to my habit, right? And so I'm like, well, what's your habit? Like, what do you mean? And so she told me that she had some CRACK issues in the past, and they had come back. Okay. And so I'm like, oh wow, like, it's okay, like everybody fall down, you can get back up. Like, I always been positive and uplifting. I'm just like, that's not the worst thing in the world. Everybody who was a victim of it, they struggle with it, so just, your journey is your journey. You're gonna get through it, you're gonna be good. Like, sorry to hear that, but you're gonna be all right. So she's like, yeah. So she go in her room, she come out, and when I tell you she's so giddy and after she go in there and blow that stuff, she's so giddy and stuff. And so I'm like, oh, now I realize, because she used to be mad, y'all, and then she would go in her room and then she would come out and she'll be floating, y'all. So I'm like, oh, she been doing this for a while. And I'm like, and if I noticed it and they already know with this little happiness, these little mood swings come from, they know, but they just ain't saying nothing, right? So now, right, but she tells me that one day, fast forward maybe a couple weeks or whatever, and one day she like, niece, you want to take a ride with me? And I'm like, sure. I ride with her all the time. We go to the store, we go go pick up the kids sometimes from school, and just whatever, like we riding, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll ride to you. So now this particular day when we ride, we go to what I know to be a spot that actually previous to that, when I was in high school, I've hung out on when me and Twin was over there trying to get some little ninjas attention, so I know it's a spot. Now, this spot, they have a lot of different items available for sale on this spot. So, I can't really say what it is that she's going to get, because she do also blow tree, right? So I don't necessarily know exactly what she's going to get, but this is a spot. They got everything. Okay, they got everything. So now she goes, she hop out off the spot, she come back or whatever, right? But I noticed that she don't give it to me. And if like, it's like, okay, when you ride to the spot with somebody and y'all both blow tree and they know that you do, when you get in the car and you come back from getting it, you gonna show them the tree. That's just like, I don't know what it is, if it's like, tree blowers etiquette or whatever. It's like, look at what I got, look at what we finna indulge in, you know what I'm saying? So she didn't show it to me, so I just took note of that. I mean, she don't have to show it to me, but she has called me before, like, oh, niece, come look at this, and been showing me some trees. So what would be, obviously it's probably something that I don't do, right? So I'm like, okay, I just took note of that, right? So now this happened a few more times that I ride with her to the spot, right? And so, I don't think nothing of it. Until one day, one of the dudes, he kind of comes to the car, and when I tell you, he's looking at me so crazy. Because, mind you, I'm 17, 18 years old at the time, so I look like a baby in the car, right? A baby. And he's looking at me like, what are you doing here with her? But he don't say nothing. He just looking at me, and he like, all right, y'all be good, right? So now one day she was like, oh my God, I'm feeling sick. I need you to take me somewhere. When she say somewhere, I'm thinking she need to go to the grocery store, get some chicken noodle soup. She need to go to the pharmacy, get some medication. I don't know what she need to do, but I didn't think it was this. But y'all, she asked me, she like, I need you to take me around the corner to that place. Right? And I'm like, that place that we be going to? And she's like, yeah, that place. So I'm like, okay. So we get in the car. I'm driving this time. And we drive over there to the spot. Right? And we park. And then when we get there this time, instead of her getting out, she hands me the money. And she like, go up to that guy right there. She pointed him out. Same guy who was looking at me crazy. She like, go up to him and tell him you want one. And I'm like, just say I want one? And she like, yeah, just tell him you want one. So when I get out the car and walk over there, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm just trying to get one. Y'all, when I tell you, he looked at me like, what? He was like, you trying to get one? He was like, you sure you here for the right thing? And I'm like, yeah. And then so I kind of like look back at the car, and then when he looks and he sees the car, he like, oh, okay, I got you, because he knows her, he knows the car, you know what I'm saying? So now he gives me what he give me, and when he put it in my hand, I can't help it. I look down. I don't even turn around. I look down. I look at it, and I see what it is, and it's exactly what I thought it was. It's CRAC in my hand. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I close my hand, and I'm like, oh Lord, this woman has sent me over here to buy some. And the only thing I could think of was, they're gonna think that I do it. They knew I didn't do it. You could tell when somebody do it. They knew I didn't do it, but they like, dang, she got you out here buying this for her or whatever, right? Or maybe they thought I was just in the beginning stages. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was like, okay. So I took it. I was like, thank you. I got it, and gave it to her in the car, and y'all, we rode in silence. I didn't say nothing. Or she said thank you, but I didn't say nothing. I was just like, I didn't know how to feel about, you know, me getting out and going and buying that. Like, I didn't know what people was gonna think. Like, I didn't know what I thought. Like, was I okay with it? Like, I really didn't understand. I understood what was going on, but I didn't know the gravity of it. I didn't know that, oh, hey, I don't want to be involved in these kind of things. When I was young, I didn't really have a lot of boundaries. So I would just do things kind of people pleasing, just so I can like fit in and not create no waves. Cause I'm like go with the flow. I really like peace type of person. Like, I don't be tripping like that, you know? Like, so if you ask me, hey, can you bounce out at the store and go get this? I don't take it as somebody using me. I be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get some more steps. Like, I ain't tripping. Like, I ain't doing nothing else. Like, I'm good like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really wasn't thinking nothing of it, you know, before. But then now I'm thinking like, dang, like what, you know, what just happened, right? So now from here on out, now this is a regular thing. She wants me to either ride with her to the spot or drive her to the spot, and she wants me to get out almost every time, y'all. I think I've only been with her like 1 or 2 times after that where she got out herself. And I did not feel comfortable going over there buying her stuff for her all the time, because I'm like, oh, for sure now they think I'm, you know what I'm saying? They think we just having a party at the house, me and you know, and we coming almost every day, y'all. I remember she expressed to me, she like, yeah, if I could just kick this $10 a day habit, I'd be good. And I'm just like, wow, like this, it really had a hold on her, y'all. Like she would start itching and all kind of stuff and be like, hey, I need you to take me over there. And I would do it. And I felt obligated, because I was like, here I am, I'm living in this woman's house. You know, I know I'm messing with her son, and her son is kind of like going half on the rent or whatever, but like, I felt like I couldn't tell her no, and I was very uncomfortable with it, and I did not like it. That's why I was so happy when we moved out. I was so happy, because I was like, ooh, she ain't gonna be able to ask me to take her no more, because now all I gotta do is say, oh, I'm busy or whatever. And y'all, when she started trying to have me go every day, I was like, let me get me a job and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was just like, yeah, this ain't really gonna work for me. But I didn't say nothing, y'all. I didn't say nothing. So I encourage y'all, when y'all in an uncomfortable situation, I don't care if it's somebody mama, just politely say, hey, you know, I don't think I could participate in that. I don't think that this is the kind of thing that I would like to do. You know, I hate to offend you, but you know, it's a way you can word it so that it'll fall easily on them. But don't put yourself in no situation. Like, I could have been going to the spot, and somebody could have had metal things flying up out of things that people hold in their hands, and now I'm in the hospital because I was just standing there on the spot. Like, nah. Don't put yourself in that situation like that. Learn from my mistakes. Please learn from my mistakes. Do not do what I did. I did it so you don't have to do it. And I'm telling you, it wasn't fun. It didn't feel good. It ain't gonna make you no money. Do not do it, okay? Now, y'all, we never got in a situation where it was like, you know, the police ran down over there when we got over there, or dudes was like, you know, over there popping their things off, and it was like metal things flying out of things that people hold in their hands. We never got in that situation that, you know, the police never got behind us afterwards and stopped us and said, hey, you better give up your dealer or nothing like that. We never got in a situation, but we could have, you know what I'm saying? And it's just best to avoid that. If it's any opportunity that you could be in a situation like that, just don't even go. Don't even do it. You know, practice a little bit of arrogance, y'all, and just be above that. Be be above doing that, okay? And not that you look down on people who do it, but just don't be a participant. Besides her saying, hey, you know, I got this $10 a day habit and I really need to let go of this, she really didn't talk about the addiction itself, and she didn't really say, like, you know, hey, I mean, I guess she wouldn't be saying, hey, I appreciate you for taking me or whatever, but we didn't really discuss it in depth. Like, we went over there and got it. She asked me to get out for her and just get one. She just sprung it on me. I really didn't know what I was getting, but really, I should have asked more questions. And if somebody asks you to do something and go do something blindly, ask questions. Don't do nothing blindly for somebody, because what if I was buying a hand thing with some bodies on it, and then now I done touched it and I'm in a situation 5 years down the line because my DNA on it. Like, you never know what could happen. So just don't, avoid that, y'all. Avoid that. It was crazy because, like I said, I would take her, and then so Triple G found out that I was taking her, and he got mad at her. He was like, don't be sending her up over there or whatever, because I think he was thinking about the aesthetic of, like, how it looked. Like, you know, everybody know I'm his girl, and now it looked like I'm going over here with a $10 a day habit. So I think he was more so like, don't do that, because he knew she was going to do it. You know, he had all of his friends, like, on notice not to give her none or whatever, because he didn't want that. But I think that he knew that, you know, he knew it was gonna happen. He didn't even have a real big problem with it. I don't even think he could, you know, cognitively, because like I said, when he was born, he was addicted to something. So I don't even think it was something he could separate, because it was so a part of his life, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was just like, that is what it is, you know, kind of deal. But like, just don't involve her. So he was mad at her. They got into a screaming match over it and all that, y'all. And then she kind of stopped texting me or whatever. We went a couple more times after that, but it was like on the hush hush, like, oh, just take a ride with me. She didn't ask me to get out no more, you know. But I actually stopped being in that situation where she could even have me ride with her, because we moved. We had got our place. I had got another job, and then we went and we talked to the landlord. We went and talked ourselves up into an apartment, and we got our first studio apartment together. Well, our first and only place, because we didn't last past that. But anyway, yeah, we went, and that's how I stopped being put in a position where I had to make a decision on if I was gonna take her or not, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it would have just kept going had we kept living there, you know. Even if she knew he was uncomfortable with it, I don't think she even would have cared, because when you own something like that, it really does drive the car that is your life. Like, you really don't have a lot of control over it. So I think that it would have overpowered her judgment at some point. Oh, and we never talked about it. Like, we never talked about it, like how I felt about her and nothing like that. I think we were really too young to just process our feelings and stuff. And it was so shocking to me, because my parents aren't suffering from anything like that. So I really just didn't understand. I understood addiction because, you know, one of my grandmothers, unfortunately, you know, she had succumbed to something, you know, back in the day. So I understood what it was, but I had never been that close to it, because it was far removed, because my parents kept me sheltered from it, and they did a good job not falling victim to it. I had never lived in a house with somebody who was a J, literally a knock. Like, I mean, she wasn't a knock, but she was close. But yeah, so I had never had that experience before, so I really didn't know how to feel. I was just so happy to be out of that house and all that, and we never talked about it. We never brought it up. It was just, it is what it is. And, you know, I'm not sure if she's still suffering to this day, because I obviously do not mess with him anymore. I have seen her a couple times, like in passing or whatever, and we stopped, we gave each other a hug. Hey, how you doing? You know, I'ma always love you. You always gonna be my mama, because I used to call her mama. But I never really stopped and tried to pick her brain or anything like that. Like, hey, what's going on with you? How you doing? And all of that. As far as that goes, you know, it was just a high and by, you know, I still love you kind of thing. You always be in my heart. Okay, see you in a minute kind of deal. My best advice is, like I said, if you in a situation where you feel like you can't say nothing, just always say something. Just try to say it in the nicest way possible. I know sometimes we be feeling like, hey, I should go along with this because this person is helping me out, but that person more than likely will help you get into a prison cell too. So you don't want everybody help, and I get it. When you're living with somebody, you really be feeling like, dang, whatever they say goes, but not when it's your safety and your freedom is in play. Like, don't do it, y'all. You know, don't do it. Learn from my mistakes, y'all. world. If you enjoyed that story time and you want to hear more, watch this right here. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. And y'all already know what I wish. I wish you love, peace, and a lifetime of listening to Anise.
All this negativity we can't perpetuate. Speak with your heart, I'm trying to feel something. I won't just entertain, I'm trying to heal something. Put a smile on your face, for me and you that feel good. Eyes on the prize, even if it don't feel good. Push through discomfort, it ain't gonna be easy. Life ain't a pizzeria, shit ain't gonna be cheesy. But it can be pleasing, if you say it is. Ironically, life is just how you say it is.